Have you found yourself going on diet after diet only to fail? Welcome to my video. So today I want to talk about diets. Some people do well with diets. Some people do well with the structure of the diets because they have time to prep and they have time to do what it takes to prepare for the diet, to stay on the diet, to cook for the diet, depending on what diet you're on. Now, there's hundreds of diets out there, right? We've all heard of them. There's, and I'm not even going to name them again, but whatever type of quote diet you want to go on. So why do we diet? Most people diet to lose weight, right? We've gained weight, we need to lose weight, so we go on a diet. Well, what if we turn that diet mentality into a structure of eating healthier or a lifestyle change? Let's just call it that. Let's call it a lifestyle change. So instead of the 6 or 8 cups of coffee, we have 5. Instead of not getting any steps in, we go for a 30-minute walk. Instead of eating that pint of ice cream, maybe we make a chia pudding instead. There's various things you can do. So what are we looking for? We're looking for improvement. What is improvement? It's doing better one day than you did the previous day. So if you're here, say yesterday, and you're here today because you've done better, you've eaten healthier. So we want to eat healthier. And what does that look like? That is reducing processed meals, right? Now, here's the caveat in today's society. All of our food is processed. Unless you go outside and you live on a farm and you wring that chicken's neck and defeather it and bring it in and gut it and cook it, it's a processed meal, right? You're buying it from the grocery store. Same thing with meat. Same thing with fish. It's all processed. Some are more processed than others. So if you were to go in, let's just say you went in the store and you wanted to do, let's just say fish. And I don't really do fish anymore. Let's just say fish. Instead of going in the frozen food section and getting those fish sticks that are rolled in batter and oil and deep fried, let's just say you go and get a packaged, maybe a wild caught salmon, or it could be farm raised, but it's not fried. Isn't that the better option? So you can take it home and you can bake it, or you can pan fry it without grease, without oil, with some broth and some seasonings. That's going to be a better option, right? So if we take this concept on everything that we kind of do when we're constructing our meals, and we say, okay, I'm not on a diet, but how can I make this healthier? Instead of fried, maybe it's you get an air fryer. So you're not cooking it in a deep vat of oil, right? You're cooking it in an air fryer. You still have the bread crumbs, but you're cooking it in an air fryer, which is much healthier than if you were to pour a bunch of sunflower, safflower, canola oil in a pan and just drop it in and deep fry it. And that goes for everything. So if we start looking at this and we start constructing, this is what I used to do, how can I do better? Now, that doesn't mean you have to change 100% of everything you do. It's just not going to happen that way. Even if you're on a diet and you're trying to be strict, there's going to be a time where you're going to slip. You have a late meeting, you have this, you have to stop by, you get out of, whatever it be. You might get out of church late. The kids might have a ball game, so you might have to do some alternative, like a drive-through. And I know we're trying to get away from drive-throughs and we're trying to get away from fast foods. But if we have something at home, then maybe we can do that. Maybe it's not what we want. Maybe we want that cheeseburger and french fries and Diet Coke or chocolate shake. Maybe we throw a salad together. And you don't have to, you can be vegan, or you can be whole food plant-based, or you can be a meat eater. It does not matter. The same process is still going to apply. I think we get into these, we like titles, we like labels. We like to label something. I'm vegan, or I'm whole food plant-based, or I'm a meat eater, I'm whatever. Be a flexitarian. And what I mean by that is most of your meals consist of vegetables, but you still eat meat when you need to eat meat. The number one thing you need to do is listen to your body. When you listen to your body, maybe it has certain cravings. I know that I have a problem with anemia. I've just always had a problem with anemia in my adult life. It's hard trying to be whole food plant-based because sometimes I feel like I'm not getting enough of what I need. Like I'm craving a big juicy steak, right? I'm craving a beef liver and onions. Well, when I get those cravings, I think that's my body telling me, maybe, hey Alicia, your hematocrit might be down, or your red blood cell count might be down, or all of the above, your hemoglobin. So maybe I need to listen to my body. So I've decided, I was whole food plant-based, and I lost a ton of weight, like really quick. I'm not gonna lie. Like after my cancer, I was north of 200 pounds, and I'm a very small stature, if you will. I'm vertically challenged. And I was carrying some weight because of the chemo and the radiation. And it's not because I was eating, trust me, because I wasn't. I was not eating. Like they had to give me medicine to eat, to stimulate my appetite. It was just the medication that caused me to just balloon. And the fact that I came home after chemo sessions and I was in bed for days on end. I was in bed. So it's difficult. So you gain weight, you lose muscle mass, you just have all these things going on, right? And I told myself, I said, I wonder if I can beat this, because I was this far away from having to get a transfusion during my chemo. And I thought, and then I ultimately had to get blood transfusions because I went too low. Um, I couldn't breathe and I was having shortness of breath, and so it was below 8 and they had to transfuse me. So I thought, I don't want to go through that again. So what can I do? You know, I noticed that months later when it started going down again, um, I thought, I'm gonna try something here. So I ate liver and a big plate of liver and onions. And I went and had my blood work. It was time to go have my blood work drawn. So I went and had my blood work drawn, and my oncologist was like, I don't understand. You went up and all your red blood cell counts, like your hemoglobin, your iron, your everything went up. And he goes, how's that possible? Because you've been on a downward decline. We thought we were going to have to transfuse you again. And I told him, I ate liver and onions, a big plate of it. So I got that iron from those liver and onions. So I got it from whole food. Was it processed? Yes. It was processed because it was packaged. But I didn't use anything to fry it up. I used broth only. That was it. I didn't dip it in egg and batter it and put it. It was just a vegetable broth. And I put a lot of onions, liver, and then I had a side of steamed spinach. And that's what I ate. And he goes, you should have seen like the look on his face. He goes, huh, really? And I go, yeah, really. I said, food is medicine. And he was just kind of shaking his head, and he goes, yeah, I guess. He goes, well, I don't know what you're doing, but keep on doing it. Like, you know, he was just baffled. If we listen to our body, and most of the time, I find, and this is only me, I can't speak for anyone else, but if I'm like eating all night long, like I'm just craving, like I can't stop snacking. I can't stop going into the kitchen and feeding my face. I find that those are the days where I'm most nutrient deficient. Like I haven't eaten well that day. Because when I eat well, and when I'm talking about well, I'm talking about nutrient dense foods. So foods like salads and, you know, your kales and your spinach and your carrots and your onions and just your different vegetables and all your nutrients, right? You eat the rainbow. Maybe we need to create a healthier lifestyle instead of always saying, I'm going on a diet. Because I don't know about you, but the moment I mention the word diet, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Psychologically, if I say I'm going on a diet, or if I've told myself I'm going on a diet, I'm hungry. Because what I have just told myself is restriction. But let's not do that. Let's do change. Okay? Don't restrict, just change. So maybe we walk a little more, or start walking, or maybe we start lifting weights, or we start playing tennis, gardening, whatever it might be, whatever it might be that you like to do. Start doing it. Burn some calories, because every calorie burned is a calorie that counts toward our weight loss. And it's in minus out, right? What we put in our mouth minus what we burn. So let's try it. Let's do that. Look at this as a lifestyle change, just a change instead of a diet. And make your changes better every week or every day or however you want to do it. Just make them better options. So let's do the stoplight. There's a red, a yellow, and a green. Well, we know the red is bad, right? The red would be the drive-throughs, the processed foods. The yellow would be yielding, like slow down. It's not terribly, it's not like a red, but you're going to have to slow down because it's not actually good for you. Then there's the green. The green light is all your fresh vegetables and fruits, your lean proteins, and I'm saying lean proteins. So if you're eating protein, a ribeye does not count as a lean protein. That is a very fatty cut of meat. So you would want to go to a top sirloin. That's the leanest cut of steak. And I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, Alicia, a top sirloin? Are you kidding? Over a porterhouse or over a ribeye? Are you absolutely kidding me? Yes, that's it doesn't have as much fat in it. So you're not ingesting as much saturated fat. Let's try to reduce our screen time. You know, our social media, our binges, when we go to sleep at night. Let's try to tell ourselves, tonight I'm going to get an hour more sleep than I did last night. Until I'm up to maybe 8 hours, 9 hours, depending on your age. So, I mean, we can do this in every aspect of our life. We can do it with our health. We can do it in our spiritual life. We can do it in our mental life. I mean, every aspect of our life, our family life, we can say, today, I'm just going to do better than I did yesterday. Try to do better. There's going to be some days that you're not going to be able to do it for whatever reason, and that's okay. Give yourself grace. But if you log what you're eating, whether you do it by a handwritten journal like this, or whether you do it by an app, it doesn't matter. Log what you're putting in your body so you can go back and look. Well, I did do better today than I did yesterday, or this week I did better than last week. I got more steps in, and celebrate that. Not with a cookie, but celebrate it. Just, give yourself grace when you have to slip, knowing that you're going to come back. But instead of the word diet, let's just say we're going to make a lifestyle change. We're going to make a change in the way we eat. We're going to do the stoplight method, and on everything we put in front of us, is that red, yellow, or green? That's an easy question. How can I make this? If it's red, how can I make it yellow? If it's yellow, how can I make it green? What's the better option? That's all you have to do. That's all you have to ask yourself. And if you do those things, input and output, meaning calories burned and what you're putting in your body, you're going to naturally lose weight. And you didn't have to go on a restrictive diet. You still had some of the things you loved, but maybe they were in moderation or a smaller portion. Maybe you walked more steps. Let's try it. I want you to try it. This is what I'm doing right now. And I'm testing it out, and I'll let you know how it works. Till next time.